I just did legs today for the first time in like 2 weeks. And now I gotta stand here, and it really is a challenge. But we're gonna share some tips regardless. You're here today because you struggle with content creation. You're probably already burned out or you're about to burn out. And I'm gonna share with you 5 tips how to not burn out, because I did it in the past and that's how I learned, and that's how you maybe do not need to go through that. Tip number 1 is you need to create more than you consume. This is kind of a no-brainer, but honestly, I think it's probably one of those things that a creator kind of like ignores in the beginning. And it's hard because we come from a mindset of consuming. We come from a mindset where we are scrolling day in, day out, and we are consuming what creators on the other side have been putting out to be consumed. That's the circle. This is our world. It's the game of attention. That is the internet. However, if you want to become a creator and be on the other side, you need to switch your mindset immediately to a creator. You need to consume your content intentionally, meaning that if you are on Instagram, for example, and you are scrolling, then realize what you are scrolling. Realize what you are watching. Because your algorithm probably already adjusted to your interests anyway. You like things, you comment on things, you share things. That is what the algorithm is gathering in terms of data and then provides you that content more often. Now you basically have a blueprint right in front of you. You know what works because it worked with you as a consumer. So take notes, analyze the content from a creative perspective, and then implement it into your own content. That is pretty much what this whole thing should be. You should be consuming to understand where you are as a creator and where the landscape in general is in social media. Don't just scroll passively and waste time and then feel miserable that you wasted time, and then you are in this circle of like regret and I should do more, and then it just adds up to you burning out eventually. When you consume, do it with intention to find those nuggets in between, to find those kind of ideas that are resonating with you and that you are now going to implement in your content. That should be your mindset. It takes time to shift that mindset from a consumer to a creator, but it's not impossible. Analyze yourself what you are doing on a daily basis, and if you catch yourself scrolling more than you are creating, then that's a red flag. It should be like this 80-20 rule. 80% creating, 20% consuming. Number 2, create focus blocks. What does that mean? We are consistently distracted by the internet, by notification, by social media itself, by information. And we are just kind of like reacting to it nonstop, and it's overwhelming. If you cannot build discipline and put the phone away in a different room to really create an environment that is meant to be productive, then you're gonna have a hard time. I'm saying this because I've been there, I'm still sometimes there, it's just how it is. But the more you catch yourself just sitting there wasting time instead of being productive, the better. Because it adds up. You're building a habit. You need to completely change your entire belief system, if you will. Like your entire mindset needs to change. And if you create focus blocks, then that are your blocks where you just, with full intention and no distraction, you're going to be productive and you're going to get shit done. Full stop. How many hours that should be is something you need to figure out. For me, it's usually between 3 to 4 hours where I get the most done. And then my brain starts to slowly shift into a passive mode, because we cannot be focused and productive for longer than probably 4 to 5 hours. It's just not how our brain works. You can build in a pause and then maybe another smaller block, a few hours later, But for me personally, I like to work in the morning around 9 o'clock until 1 p.m. and then have my focus block there. And that's where I'm going to be most productive without any distractions, basically. And then in the afternoon, I have my other routine kind of stuff, going to the gym, lunch, go on walks, but also I'm going to create something that maybe doesn't require me to be as focused as I should be for the other tasks. But in those 4 hours, I can tell you already, if you really take this seriously and you do this daily and you do it for the next 6 months, you're gonna get so much more done than if you are just pretending to be productive with like reading books and trying to be telling people that you are doing something, but actually you are not doing anything. You're just being busy by wasting time, and then you're gonna get burned out eventually because you are not seeing any progress. And that is a problem because we can be busy all the time. We can just sit down and just do some random tasks, but if they are not fully leading to what you need to do, and if they are not basically bringing you closer to your goal, then you are not doing anything. You're just wasting your time, and then kind of like realize in a few weeks probably that you cannot do this, it's too hard, but you're just not focused. People who work 4 hours a day with full focus, they do and get more done than anyone that works like 12 hours a day, kind of like left and right, and actually doesn't do anything, but it's just busy. Focus on focus hours, focus blocks. That is gonna be your biggest leverage point and actually get the things done that you have to do. Number 3, don't overthink your content. In the beginning, you have no idea what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. You have seen a bunch of like content on the internet, on social media that you feel inspired by, and now you wanna kind of like copy that because that gives you some kind of like idea where you want to go with your own kind of brand. Ultimately, if you are sitting down and overthinking every single piece of content and you want to make this as perfect as possible, then all you do is you are procrastinating and you're basically giving yourself excuses to not get shit done once again. Because you need to understand that this is not about perfectionism anymore. The 80-20 rule will get you so much more ahead than kind of like finesse the last 5% and spend like twice the amount of time on that and then kind of like not getting ahead because you're not pushing out. Once you reach the 80% threshold, that is kind of like it's good to go, push it out. And you go on to the next one. And now what that does is it's gonna compound, first of all, your momentum on your social media account, because that's very, very important in the beginning that you build momentum. Consistency matters. Like the algorithm is still a factor that we need to consider. So don't ignore that one. But what it also does is it creates confidence in your ability to create more. And every time you push out a new piece of content, you get feedback. You can see what worked and what didn't work. You get comments. You get more data to now focus on specific content that worked better than the other content maybe, and then you double down on that content. But if you're just pushing out one piece of content every week, you need like 1 year to get like 52 pieces of content out, and then you have like almost no data and you spend 1 year on that. And it's very discouraging to then not see any progress because you have been perfectionizing your content. And also don't forget, you become a better creator incrementally while you are pushing out more content. So today you think you are not good enough. If you push out content every day for a year, that's 365 pieces of content. And now, what do you think is gonna happen for your creative process? You are so much more ahead now because you know what you need to do, you know what worked, you know what didn't work, and it's not linear. Like growth is not linear, it's going to be exponential. You're gonna do a lot of work for a long time and then you see no results, and at some point it's just gonna click, it's gonna snowball, and it's gonna really snowball. So you need to focus on that part, that you become a creator that is focusing on the big picture and not just like, I need 100K followers now because that now would put me in a position where people take me seriously. No, they wouldn't. Because if your content still sucks, who gives a fuck? There is a lot of people out there who have hundreds of thousands of followers because they had like 1 or 2 pieces going viral, but that's it. No engagement and with some ghost followers. So focus on creating more. You have no control over the outcome, but you have control over the output. So focus on that, what you have control over, and the rest will follow. I can pretty much guarantee that. But if you're not even giving yourself a chance by putting out content, then why would you ever deserve the outcome, whatever that might be? Focus on becoming a creator. And a creator is a lifestyle, so make it your lifestyle. All right, number 4 is you have to say no to more stuff. You have to say no to things that are not important to you right now. That includes saying no to friends on the weekend and not going for drinks, and actually work for what you want to achieve. Put in the hours and be like, hey dude, I'm sorry, but I'm busy. I have to get shit done. It will feel awkward and it will feel like you are treating your friends bad, but if they really are your friends, they will understand. And if not, then they are just not really meant to stick around. It's your dream. You have goals, man. I mean, you really have goals. And if you want to achieve those goals, then there is no fucking around. It's not like, oh, I worked enough now, I deserve 2 days off and get wasted. Like, no, you don't. And if you think you do, be my guest, but do not complain if things are not working out for you and other people are getting ahead because they're putting in the hours and the work. Say no to things that don't matter and are not priority. That's very simple, but it's not easy to do, and I know this. It's a beautiful day right now outside. People are meeting at the riverside and go for a swim, and I'm in here and shooting this video. It's a priority. I could also say like, fuck this, like, no, I'm gonna go for a swim too. Obviously, treat yourself as well and enjoy life, and we get to this point in a second. If you want to get ahead, you need to do more of what matters. It will take a year or 2 to build a foundation, and then maybe you are in a position where you can delegate things and kind of like start to build a business that is not 100% dependent on you. But in the beginning, it's everything on you. Everything. You are the content creator, the entrepreneurial part behind this. You are the salesman behind this. You are the organization behind this. You are the communication behind this. You are the writer behind this. You are the one that is coming up with ideas. You are the one that needs to network with people. You are doing everything on your own. And if people come to you and be like, oh, this influencer life is so simple and easy, and it's not a real job, is it? It's quite of like goofy. They have no fucking idea what they're talking about. They have really no fucking idea because they never did it anyway. Like if someone has not done this for like more than a year, they don't even have a voice and an opinion about this. This is really hard. It's one of the hardest things to do, in my opinion, because you are basically responsible for everything that requires thought, and it's a business. Say no to things that don't matter. Number 5, and my favorite one, and I think probably the most important one of this video, is focus on one platform first. I see many creators who start out that want to go everywhere. They want to be on Instagram, they want to be on X, they want to be on LinkedIn, they want to be on YouTube, they want to be on Threads, they want to be on Facebook, they want to be on TikTok, they want to be everywhere. Good luck with that. Good fucking luck with that, because it's not gonna happen. You're gonna do this for 2 weeks and you're gonna be like completely out. You're gonna be completely out. There is no way you're not gonna burn out like this, because you are just not gonna sustain like this. Focus on one platform that you think is the one platform you actually want to build a brand, where you feel home, where you feel like that is the one place that I want to build a network and a community. And then you start there. And then you do this for a year. And then if things work out, you're gonna expand, basically. You're gonna start posting on different platforms. But don't go all in on 7-8 platforms because you watch some Gary Vee kind of content and he basically posts like, I don't know, 30 posts per day on different platforms. He has a team of like probably 20-30 people who are doing nothing else than content. He doesn't do that content. He is just on his normal kind of life mission and he is just always surrounded by cameras because that's his marketing strategy as a personal brand. And he has the money, frankly, to do so. He can afford that. Why I'm saying this is because I have been doing it myself and it's not working. Maybe it works for you, but honestly, I don't think it will. So focus on one platform. Very simple. And then you're gonna go nuts there. And you just really keep it simple. And you be like, okay, this is my platform. This is my content strategy. Once a day, I'm gonna post and I'm gonna interact for like 30 minutes. That's it. Because if you cannot make it on one platform, how the hell are you even going to do it on 7 different platforms? You just have FOMO, fear of missing out, that you think you need to like go full on crazy and post everywhere. But that's going to be a very, very risky strategy and probably lead to that point where you're going to burn out. Focus on one platform that suits you best with your content, with you as a creator. If it's photography, well, I think it's Instagram. If it's generally speaking creative work, I think it's Instagram or TikTok. If you are more like into politics and copywriting, then it's probably X. If it's more like long form content and that's where you feel the strongest, then it's probably YouTube. If you want to just kind of like be more real without all the editing and stuff, then it's TikTok. You know where I'm going with this. What is your personality? Choose a platform for your personality and go nuts. And then once you actually reach the point that you have authority, have a brand, you can then try to delegate work and scale. But don't scale in the beginning immediately without even having the proof of concept, basically, that it's going to work. It's just a bad strategy and it will drive you crazy. And then you're gonna blame the algorithm and you're gonna blame that social media is, consuming you. Well, of course, because now you have like 7 platforms you need to feed every single day and be active on and build a community. Don't do it. And a bonus tip for you, enjoy life. Yes, you are allowed to enjoy life. You can go out and you can actually see the sun. And you can be that person who enjoys a cup of coffee with friends, or that actually goes for a swim in the river. Yes, I know that a few minutes ago I said you need to set priorities, but that can be a priority in its own if you know how to implement it. If it's every day for like 3 hours, then it's gonna be a problem. But you are allowed to take a day off or 2 and reset and enjoy life. Because what's the point of doing all this if we are not enjoying life? That's the point. Life is out there. It's not right here. Like, no, it's not screens. It's there. That's where you're going to recharge mentally, creatively, physically. You have to implement this very intentional and be like, this is my off day or these are my off hours. And that's going to help me to stay on track. But it shouldn't be a priority when you don't even have the other priorities figured out, because then it's going to be a problem because it's just distracting you and it's basically an excuse to not do what you should be doing. With this being said, live your life and don't just document it. This is your blueprint to increase productivity and happiness at the same time. If you found this helpful, please give it a like, please comment and share your opinion and feedback. Subscribe, that helps out the channel, obviously. I see you around and stay creative.